Okay, Chris, we're on YouTube Live.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Police and Public Safety Committee meeting of CB Board 10. Today is March 12th. It is approximately 7 o'clock. We have 3 items on the agenda. One, New Phoenix Seafood Restaurant Incorporated, 912 65th Street. Foul Play. Sports Bar, 7217 8th Avenue. And Cafe on the Pier, 35 Bay Ridge Avenue. So the first item is the New Phoenix Seafood Restaurant, located at 912 65th Street. This is a very large establishment. The owner is Chenzu Chu. His attorney is Sherry Su. Sherry, are you on? Sherry, I saw you before. I'll just move on.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on.
Okay. So we're talking about the New Phoenix Seafood Restaurant. It's 912 65th Street. And this is for a new liquor license, wine, beer, and cider. You're currently open and operating, am I correct? Or is it
Yes, right. Yeah.
for a new ownership?
So I'm the manager of this location.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you.
It's a little noisy. So I'm the manager of this restaurant. Hello.
Yes,
Hey,
we can hear you.
You just came a little broken up. The owner is Chen Zhen Chu.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me? I love Zoom.
Hello.
Chris, can you talk a little closer to the microphone? You're a little low.
Oh, I'm sorry. These are the mics, right?
Those are the mics, yep, up here.
Okay. I'm gonna move over one. Under the mic. Sherry, can you hear me now? Barbara, can you hear me now? Is that
It's
better?
a little better.
All right. I'm right under the mic. Sherry, are you on? Is there a representative for New Phoenix Seafood Restaurant?
She's muted.
He's muted?
Yeah, I
Muted.
see. Okay, Sherry, you're back.
Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So the restaurant got a very bad signal. So right now I'm go outside and yeah. Sorry.
All right, so this establishment has 59 tables with
Yes.
606 seats. Currently has a public assembly for 705. You may have some private parties. You only have background music. There's no outdoor use. There's no adverse history at the location. They did provide a menu. They did provide public notice. I believe there was only one 311 complaint years ago for double park bars. Haven't seen anything recently. Jerry, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
All right, this is for a new wine, beer, and cider application, correct?
Yes, right, yeah.
Hold on, my phone is going on. Not a liquor, correct, okay. And you're only gonna have background music and you have some private parties that you're gonna be hosting?
Yeah, sometimes we may have the wedding party. So
Mhm.
so it's only for sometimes a wedding party or birthday party.
All right, on the schematic, I see very large venue. How many exits are there? I know the front has double door entrances.
Yeah, there's so I submit the floor plan. So
Correct.
actually there's 2 exits. Yeah.
No, and I see there's alleyways on each side of the venues for emergency exiting. Any questions from board members?
Yeah, did I hear correctly that there are 2 exits?
Yeah.
Okay, and the side exit will allow people to get to the street?
Yes, right, yeah.
Okay, that's a very few exits for a possible 700 people.
Uh,
I think the schematic has three.
Right,
on
the
the
schematic,
front.
yeah, the one in the front and then there's two on the side, I
Yeah,
think.
one on each side of the establishment and one in the center. According to the schematic that I have,
Yeah.
no. Sherry,
yes. Yeah, so actually I made a mistake. So yeah, they have one, there's one entrance door, and for both color, they have the side
Right.
exit. Yeah.
and you do have a public assembly issued by the fire department? which you
Yes, right.
provide. Any questions from board members?
Yeah, I'm still not clear about the exits.
Yeah.
I know there's in the front of the
Yeah, and
establishment.
for the both corner of the building, the corner they have the exit. So totally, right now they got three. Yeah.
On the left and right-hand side, there are
Yeah.
two corridors that are used for emergency exiting.
Here and here, right?
And in the center itself of the establishment has a entrance and exit. For people to leave. And there's nothing in the rear, correct? Because I believe there's other buildings behind it.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that establishment have a basement? I don't think it does. It's just a slab. I don't believe it does have a basement. Because it was built on a slab, it probably used to be a garage at one time.
Yeah. No, we got enough space. We don't use the basement.
Oh, okay. Any other questions from any board members? And your hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, 12 p.m.
To 11.
I'm sorry, Monday through
So
Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. And the
yeah.
kitchen is 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yes.
So I make a motion to deny your application unless you agree to the following stipulation. The premise will operate as a restaurant. There will be no sale or consumption of alcohol on the premise until the appropriate license is issued by the state liquor authority.
Okay.
This will not serve or allow bring your own booze until their license is obtained. The owner or manager will be on site during all hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. The kitchen is 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. There will be no smoking permitted. There will be no outdoor music. The doors and windows shall remain closed with any amplified music. Background recorded indoor music sound levels remain below the level permitted by the New York City Noise Code. Once the state liquor authority license is obtained, the community board may call upon the applicant to address any concerns that may arise. There will be at least 20% visibility view into the establishment at eye level. The applicant agrees that should it change its method of operation, will give notice and meet with the community board committee at least 45 days in advance of any such change. Any discussion? One second, I see Lori has her hand up. Lori has her hand up.
Okay, Lori?
Oh, no, that was an accident. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry,
It was an accident, she
Oh.
said.
all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Sherry, have a good day. Good luck.
You too. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next item on the agenda is Foul Play. Sports Bar LLC, 7217 8th Avenue. You have, is there anybody here for Foul Play? Frank Polillo,
Frank is
Hello.
here.
Ken Castellane.
No, this is Ken Castellane.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Frank. All right. So I looked at your schematic. You have 29 seats with 10 tables, is that correct?
My lawyer just asked if you could promote him.
Okay.
Right?
Frank, is this you, on the phone?
It is me on the phone.
Okay, great. You're on.
There he is.
Evening, guys. How are you?
Good.
All right, so this is supposed to be a sports bar. Am I correct?
Yes.
Correct.
All right. So, I have a couple of questions, all right?
Sure.
The, one is the hours of operation. You got it at Monday through Sunday, 12 in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the morning, with the operation, the music, and the kitchen. So, I don't know what any sports go on after 12 o'clock at night. It's for it to be open at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's one. Two, you have a DJ booth in your schematic. I don't know what sports bar has a DJ booth. The other question I had, I don't know, if you could answer those, I'll get some more. Right, your hours of operation. Are you
Yes.
from 12 at night? 12 in the morning to 4 in the morning?
What was that?
Your hours of operation.
Yes.
Those are our hours of operation. We are a sports bar, but that doesn't mean we're solely confined to sports.
Okay.
So I
So,
agree with you.
how can-
There are no
You
sports
only do sports,
taking
what
place
else are
after
you gonna do?
midnight.
I'm sorry. If you're not gonna
I
do
said I
just
agree with
sports, you say you're operating as a sports bar. If you're not gonna do sports, what else are you gonna do?
We're a sports bar. That doesn't mean we're confined to a sports bar, though. We're
Okay.
also going to be a tavern. We're also going to have actually excellent food that Kenny Chef is very well versed in. But just because we're a sports bar until a certain time, listen, let's cut right to it. Sports bars attract guys. Sports bars attract girls looking to meet guys. So it's hoped that when the sporting events are over, people have the opportunity to get to know each other and mingle in a convivial environment.
And, I looked up your previous establishment, it was at 3901 Second Avenue.
Same place.
That was a gentleman's club, wasn't it?
Correct.
Is this gonna be a gentleman's club?
No.
I'd like to actually tell you the history about that place because I'm very well familiar with it.
Okay,
That place, I'm going to say now, maybe 22 years ago, give or take, a police officer was depressed, was overserved at the bar, and got into his car and wiped out a family of 5 after drinking at the place for about 12 hours. It was called the Wild Wild West.
yeah, that was in the 70s. I know the incident.
I'm sorry? All right.
Yeah,
After the incident, the state liquor authority stripped the premises of its license. Kenny's dad took the place over and made it Peyton's Place. Operated it for Ken, how many years? 12 years? 13 years?
15 plus.
15 plus years. Operated a gentleman's club at the location without a single problem, actually getting commendations from the police department every 2 years when we renewed the license. And for the last, I think, 5 years or so of the operation, Kenny was also involved as the manager.
all
So
right.
we really did a good job cleaning that place up.
No, we
And
did
a
contact,
place with liquor.
no, we did contact the other community board. And
Great.
they didn't have any adverse history there in the last, since, we had the establishment on 39th Street.
This was a place.
My
this
only
was a place
concern is that,
with-
that foul play doesn't morph into a gentleman's club.
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
I think Kenny said
It's
his fine with that.
yes, and sorry to cut you off, Frank. It's actually in my lease. I can't operate as a gentleman's club. So legally, it's, it was said from day one with the landlord that it would not be that. It was never going to be that.
And it was never our intent to operate a gentleman's club.
No.
okay. But our concern is of the 4 o'clock in the morning, 7 days a week. Usually, and you know it as a tavern owner previously, a lot of problems usually happen between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when the police usually have a major incidents on weekends. So we're trying to alleviate that. So.
I hear you. I hear you, and I don't.
By the state liquor authority, you are allowed to stay open, but to 4 o'clock in the morning. But as a community, just a little adversity.
If this wasn't an operator with such experience with 4 o'clock in the morning, for years that place was operated at 4 in the morning, and Ken was the manager of it.
Okay,
We have
now-
extensive experience at 4 a.m.
All right. And I did see you're gonna have security premises.
We will.
Good. Oh, the DJ. Is there any soundproofing at the location?
Ken?
There will be foam facades put on some of the wall in a cosmetic way of like brick and stuff like that. There's no soundproofing. No, there wasn't any in the previous place as well. The DJ booth was already existing when I took it over. So it was kind of more of a hassle to rip it out because of, cosmetically wise and flooring. So that's why it's, given on the plans.
We're also completely agreeable. I mean, we are going to soundproof it, but if there's an issue with any neighbor, we will supplement. And you've already met the neighbors.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions from board members?
Yes, Ruth?
Yeah, do you have tenants upstairs?
Yeah, she's actually the previous owner of the bar.
Okay.
It used to be
And,
Purple Rose before then, and she was actually the owner for, I believe, 10 years or so, however
okay.
it was there.
So, what kind of hours did the previous place have? Do you have any idea how late they stayed open?
I don't.
Okay, so I'm asking this question because, as Chris said before, we really try to discourage places from staying open until 4, and certainly from staying open till 4 every day. Do you feel that the 3 to 4 or 2 to 4 time is so important for your business?
I have such experience with going till 4, like Frank said. I don't see it being an issue for myself. I unfortunately have, more hours or, is profit and stuff, and, you have to, be open as long as I guess you can with the right tools and security and experience to make it work.
Barbara?
Yeah, just getting back to what Frank was saying, that a sports bar, you do other things. We have many sports bars in Bay Ridge and throughout New York City. And the Salty Dog, and some people may even consider like Skinflints and Kettle Black. You put the TVs up and people come there for the games, and they come to meet each other and have dinner and be with friends. And a sports bar is a sports bar, and I've gone to them, and they're great. My objection to this is that as Bay Ridge, in the Bay Ridge area, we really try to keep the consideration of the residents first. And you do have houses along the side street, and that is a desolate area in the front. That's where New Corners used to be. That's the block where New Corners was.
Correct.
And I really think that as we do with most of the bars, according to New York State, yeah, you can keep the bar open to 4 o'clock, but that's not what we want here in Bay Ridge. At 2 o'clock, a time for people to have some peace and quiet and a very secure quality of life. And people are leaving 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning becomes 4:30, 5 o'clock. And we need to have our residents have some quality of life and peace right in the beginning, in the middle of the morning. So I really would request, and I'm going to tell you that the board in general, usually most of our applicants are very amenable to going to 2 o'clock. And you're going to have some kickback if you're insistent on the 4 o'clock. 2 o'clock, people will say, okay, that's what normal bars do in our area. But 4 o'clock, you're going to have a lot of kickback. And I would be against voting for this if it were past 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Elizabeth?
Mostly just going to echo everything that Barbara said. So just agreeing with that. And just when you said that people were mingling, I assume you don't mean that people are going to be that there won't be paid escorts there. And I kind of wondered if you had any plan to deal with that as a possibility in that location.
I don't understand. Paid mingling is escorts?
Yeah. You repeat that, please? Elizabeth?
Oh, I'm sorry, I have feedback. I guess what I'm trying to say is you're not encouraging people who are sex workers to come and congregate there at 2 a.m. between 2 and 4, this 2-hour period of time. That's my question.
Not at any time.
Okay, good.
Not at any time. Not at any time. That's not what we're doing.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I just wanted to ask the question.
We have another hand raised. Staley? Staley's not a committee member, but he's here tonight. Staley, do you have a question?
Yeah, more of a comment. I'd like everyone else, pretty much. I also have an issue with the hours, not in and of themselves, just the late hours given their location. I think of a bar as on, Third Avenue. It's not a big deal for it to be open really late. But this particular establishment has residences on every single side. The right, the left, and behind them are all residential. So I think it's ridiculous to keep a place like that open at 4 o'clock in the morning in basically a residential area.
Well, let me ask you this, on dead nights, you're gonna stay open till 4 o'clock in the morning? Meaning,
Of course
you
not.
have maybe one patron in the establishment?
No, of course not.
All right.
No, I mean, let's be honest. If there's no
I
4 o'clock
know.
business, then we're going to close. Then we're
You
going to close.
have it open till 4 o'clock in the morning, 7 days a week, including your kitchen and including music.
I know, but you have, well, first of all, and I'm not arguing, but first of all, by law, I have to have my food available all hours of operation. So that's not even a consideration.
Okay.
What you had asked me was a specific question, which was if there's nobody in the place, will we close it? And we absolutely would, but I can't foresee, if and when, what days people would not be in the place. I mean, listen, maybe we could close earlier on some of the days out of respect for the neighborhood?
Yeah, I just wanted just one thing. I did look up something about the previous bar, and I did find that this thing does say it was open till 4 a.m. I know that was a question before that I didn't have the answer to, but I did just find that. But yeah, I guess Frank, that's for you to
That changes things. If this is a 4 a.m. replacing a 4 a.m., that's a different issue.
Well, Frank, there were community complaints for noise at the other establishment. It's been some times. We didn't pull up the 311 data because it's been a considerable amount of time. But we did have noise complaints when it was the Purple Rose.
Such a great name.
Any other questions?
Okay, is there anybody from the public who's here as an attendee? If you'd like to ask a question on this application, you can use the hand raise function and we could call upon you. Okay, Chris, I don't see any hands raised.
Oh. If you want to make a motion, it's on you. I'll make a motion. All right. We make a motion.
Kenny, you want it? Kenny?
Yeah,
Kenny.
if it's obviously to talk about, would you consider Wednesday to Saturday 4 a.m.?
How about Friday and Saturday?
Yeah.
Let's put the baby Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Fair. Yeah. And the other Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, what hours would you consider? Sunday?
I'd prefer 2 a.m.
Okay.
I think that would be
But you're talking about Sunday to Wednesday, right, Kenny?
Yeah. Sunday,
yeah, it would be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 a.m.
Now, if that's, I mean, with those hours, we're talking about a reduction from what the Purple Rose had. And I concede the point, if the Purple Rose had complaints, then I think Kenny should have the opportunity to prove himself. We'll pull out of 4 a.m. 7 days a week. I'm not overly familiar with your community board, and I apologize for that, but after a certain period of time, can we come back to increase the hours?
Yeah, if you change your method of operation, you can always come back and speak to us.
Do you have a set period of time? Is it 6 months or a year, or is it just?
Well, whenever you change your method of operation, you come back and speak to us.
Right.
And
Well, I think,
if you change your method
think
of operation, I'll put in, within 45 days, you can come back. So,
right, but we're not going to do that. We want the neighborhood, we want the community board to see our operation and see what we are, and potentially satisfy you that we can be trusted with
Right,
4 a.m.
so-
7 days a week.
so let me read the stipulation that I laid out. All right, so this is my motion. The premise will operate as a sports bar, restaurant/sports bar. Right, give us a menu. There will be no sale or consumption of alcohol on the premise until the appropriate license issued by the state liquor authority. Applicants will not their own booze until the license is obtained. The owner or manager will be on site during hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 12 p.m. to 4 a.m. There'll be no smoking permitted. There will be no outdoor music. The doors and windows shall remain closed with any amplified music. Background recorded and/or sound levels remain below the level permitted by the New York City Noise Code. Once the state liquor authority license is obtained, the community board may call upon the applicant to address any concerns that may arise. There will be at least 20% visibility view into the establishment at eye level. The applicant agrees that should it change its method of operation, it will give notice and meet with the community board committee at least 45 days in advance of any such change. The establishment will not be a gentleman's club. Security guards will be utilized. Any discussion on that motion?
Okay.
Ruth?
I didn't hear you say the hours of operation for the other days when the place is closing at 2.
Yes. Monday. Did I say Sunday through
Wednesday.
Sunday through Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 2 a.m.
And also, it says that the use of a security guard will be used. Is that at all times? When the place
In his
is
application, he
operating?
said he is going to be utilizing a security guard.
Well, that can mean anything.
Yeah.
Do we care?
What was that?
It doesn't.
I don't think the question's directed to us. Question's not directed to us.
I'm directing the question to Chris.
Yeah,
In the stipulation,
we put that security guards will be utilized.
security guard be utilized. Does that mean whenever the premises are in full operation, or, occasionally, it doesn't, will be utilized? What does that mean?
Well, we can put that they can be utilized when there's high volume in the location when they're going to have events. I mean,
Well, what is the owner plan?
But every night is an event.
every night is an event. So security guards will be utilized
At all times?
at all times.
Ken?
Is that,
Or
is that
at
the-
least on the nights when it's to 4 o'clock.
is
Correct.
that
Of
the-
course.
I was going to say, Ken. I would say on any night that we close at 4 a.m. or any night that there's a special event at the premises.
Because if you start saying, Ruth, that they need a security guard there at all times, then I don't want this establishment in my neighborhood. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
If
not
we're
saying they
getting
need
to
it.
4 o'clock, because we
security
have
guards will be
questions
utilized.
about the really after hours. then I can
Okay.
understand that. But if they need it at all times, then no, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock, at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, then
Well,
they
that's
don't
why I
do
was
that.
just clarifying.
Oh, no, so we can put
We
down that.
can't, we can't afford that.
During events and when the
we can't
establishment
afford
is
that.
open till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so it's really when you deem it's necessary.
Any other comments?
Mhm.
Any questions?
Any questions? All right. All in favor?
Favor?
All right. Any opposed?
Any opposed?
Okay.
Any opposed?
I'm in favor.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Sandy.
Lori?
Lori, I think she raised her hand.
Yes, so that's unanimous. Frank, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good
Thank you
luck.
very much.
All right, we'll be talking.
Bye.
Next item. Cafe on the Pier, 35 Bay Ridge Avenue. You have a representative for Cafe on the Pier? Anthony
That'd be me.
Azzarelli?
Yes, that's me.
That's you, Anthony? How are you?
Yes. Good. How are you?
Good. On the pier. Your hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 12 a.m., Sunday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, good. So you're looking for a wine, beer, and cider application for this establishment.
Yes.
You're only gonna have background music from what I see.
Yes.
DJs may be used for like birthdays or something like that, or some.
Probably not. We'll probably just stick with just the background music.
Background music.
Yeah, they're not going to be. They're going to be kids' parties mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's gonna be no outdoor dining, no delivery service. Your establishment has 50 seats with 16 tables.
I
think,
believe so. Yeah. If I don't know if it's represented that well in the layout.
yeah, it's not. I'm sorry, that's why.
Okay. Yeah, I should have added more tables.
Are you gonna be adding more tables into that?
Probably, yeah.
All right.
If you see from the pic, there's more tables in the pictures than there are on the actual layout.
Mm-hmm. And you used to run another place, Cafe Romeo?
Yeah, and also I still I'm a partnership in Long Island, Cafe Gondola in Massapequa.
Mhm. Now, I did get some emails from past history.
Mhm.
Right, in the last 2 years, there hasn't been anything going on at that establishment. Has it been
Well, we
open?
actually, yes, we actually did open over the summer.
Okay,
But it's hard to find reliable workers with a food handlers permit.
uh-huh.
So yeah, we'd rather not open than, not have someone who's qualified.
We did contact the precinct and looked at 311 complaints. There have not been any, correct?
Mhm.
2
Right.
years,
In the last 2 years.
in the last 2 years. We did get some negative emails, so probably from your prior establishing that place in the past.
Mhm.
All right. Were you doing after hours?
I was not involved with that. That was the
Were you not
people who
involved
had,
in that?
no.
Okay. And who's the other young lady that's representing Cafe on here? What's the other?
This is also my partner.
Okay. And her name?
It's Annie Young.
Huh?
No.
Annie, yeah, there she is, Annie Young.
All right, what is your name then?
Annie Young?
Annie Young.
Yes.
Okay, hi, Annie. So Annie is your partner in crime? Okay.
Yes. Mhm. Yeah, and she's also a lawyer.
Okay.
She's a lawyer.
So
She's a lawyer.
any questions from any board members?
I'm sorry.
I'm asking you any
Lori
questions.
Willis?
I have one from Lori.
Hi, I don't have a question. I do have a comment though. So I know Cafe Gondola in Massapequa. It's
Yes,
like right down the block from where my parents lived. So,
yes,
it's what I know of that is, it's a regular place. You could go in, you can have a pastry, you can have a cup of coffee. It's, nothing crazy going on there.
right.
So, if this establishment is run anything like that one, just letting my fellow board members know we have nothing to be afraid of. So
Thank you.
that's my 2 cents.
We're looking for a nice, quiet place for the neighborhood. Somewhere, and like if people are waiting for the pier in the winter, they can come in and warm up, have a
But some of
coffee.
the pictures that you sent us, you did a lot of work inside, it looks like,
Yeah,
uh,
a lot of heart and soul went into it.
no, but I'm just saying, last time I think you came before us about 2 years ago, we had a little problems. There was after hours going on in the
Yeah,
cell.
those
And-
were the people. Yeah, those are the people before us.
All right.
Well,
And they're no longer with you anymore, correct?
no, not at all. I want the exact opposite of what that was. A nice, quiet place for the community.
Okay.
We're gonna have maybe art classes, paint and sip, maybe a comedy night. Just all kinds of events that we'll have posted either on Instagram or on the board outside.
Any
Stuff for
questions?
adults and kids.
Staley?
Staley?
Hey, I was just going to add a comment as well. I actually live right around the corner, probably 3 buildings from Cafe on the Pier. I'm also someone who is often coming home late at night from work, and I have never once seen any problems whatsoever. It's always perfectly well maintained, and there's no noise or anything like that from them. They're very good neighbors.
Thank you.
Elizabeth?
I was just going to say, if it is what you said it's going to be, that would be wonderful. That location could really use something. So it would be really great. And I do remember the old speakeasy or whatever it was, but I'm glad that you're not doing that. And if there were a place to get a coffee around there, that would be really neat. Thanks.
Is there anyone here from the public who'd like to speak? You could use the hand raise function. Um, Chris? Chris, you're allowed to speak? You should be
Yeah,
able to unmute.
yeah. So I had a couple questions from the previous establishment before. There's an elderly woman that actually lives upstairs. Her garage was blocked constantly. Her parking spots were blocked constantly. Lower. And I had an issue with that. That was one. Two, I believe there was an assault on a woman at some point in front of that place. Now, I'm not saying this was you. You're saying it was the previous owners. I'm in that neighborhood. So as far as the blocking of the garage of the elderly woman who lives in the home right next to you, it's a huge house. The parking, the noise at night. There was an assault on a woman at that time too. I don't know what the community board members heard or saw, but this is what I saw. If you're not the same guy, can you guarantee that the parking won't be an issue, that this lady won't be harassed like she was last time?
Yes, I keep an eye out for that. If I see anyone parking there, I let them know that's a private driveway and they shouldn't be there.
Okay, urinating outside, all the public stuff that went on before was kind of an issue.
Yes, yeah. If I see anyone parking there that doesn't belong there, I know the cars that there's one guy that parks there, and he's the only one that parks there. If I see any of my customers parking, which nobody does, but I keep an eye out for it. If anybody's
Okay,
parked there.
but you understand my concern, correct? Like, I
Yes,
never want to
yes.
stop anybody from opening a business.
Right, right.
I think the community's in need of many of them.
Right.
And I wish you well, but I do live in that area. And
Right.
these were my concerns from before. I don't know what the community board members know. I don't know your other establishment. I'm not in Massapequa, although sounds like a better place than Bay Ridge. But as long as you can guarantee me that, and if you have a direct email or something that I can have in case there is an issue to talk to you directly, I would love that. And if the community board wants to put that up, I would appreciate it as well. So,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I can give you my personal email, or we have cafe by the pier at gmail.com is business email.
Okay.
But I totally understand. I don't like when people block other people's driveways. It's totally disrespectful. Even for 2 seconds, it's not right.
Yeah, and the noise and the other stuff that kind of went on too. Like I'm putting it in your hands. I'm
Yeah.
trusting you. So if
Okay.
I vote on this, right? I mean, I'll come in there and see you and enjoy the place as well if it's if it's a good spot. But I just worry about the neighborhood because it's going.
And you can hold me to my word.
100%. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Is the parking situation recent or in the past?
The parking was in the past. I
Last
haven't
guy.
seen anyone parking there.
Well, since there hasn't been anybody there, that hasn't really been an issue, right? So,
Right.
yeah, I just need you to look out for that.
Delineate.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I said, when I'm here, if I see anyone parked there, I'll tell them to move.
Okay, much appreciated. And then
Yeah.
again, maybe I'm wrong. What time are you guys gonna close? If you can go over the hours again.
Well, during the week, we're going to close about 10, and
Okay.
on the weekend, 12.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because we want just neighborhood people, hopefully no one under 30. And, respectable people have jobs in the morning who won't be staying out that late anyway.
Agreed. I appreciate that. Okay, my friend. Thank you. Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
All right.
Any other
Thank
questions from any board members? Or public? Anyone else in public on?
Anyone else from the public?
Barring none. This is for a wine, beer, and cider application. Cafe on the Pier. I make a motion that we deny your application unless you agree to the following stipulation. The permits will operate as a cafe restaurant. There will be no sale or consumption of alcohol on the premise until the appropriate license issued by state liquor authority. Applicants will not serve or allow bring your own booze until their license is obtained. The owner manager will be on site during all hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, Saturday, 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. There will be no smoking permitted. There will be no outdoor music. The doors and windows shall remain closed with any amplified music. Background recorded indoor music sound levels will remain below the level permitted by the New York City Noise Code. Once the state liquor authority license is obtained, the community board may call upon the applicant to address any concerns that may arise. There will be at least 20% visibility view into the establishment at eye level. The applicant agrees that should it change its method of operation, will give notice and meet with the community board committee at least 45 days in advance of any such change. Any discussion?
I agree with everything.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Unanimous. Frank, thank you very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good night. Thank you.
Anthony.
Hey, Frank, yeah.
Okay.
You know, the Italian names got. Thank you very
Okay.
much. And
Okay. Have a good night. I can sign off then.
Yes, you could sign off. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Anybody have any new or old business?
May I speak?
Yeah,
Greg?
Greg Hall.
Greg Hall.
Mind if I sit up here?
of course.
Go ahead.
Feel lonely over there.
Oh, that's okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Greg.
I'm here because I heard there's a rumor in Bay Ridge about fire hydrant parking, that it's the worst. From my apartment window, I can see 5 fire hydrants. And over the last couple of years, I've seen some really big changes on what's happening with that. Now, 3 years ago, if I did a 311 complaint about a hydrant, it was closed out by the precinct within minutes. And the only thing they responded to was blocking a driveway, which I see as really important, but is it more important than a hydrant? It got to the point late last year when the fire hydrants were parked at 6 out of 7 nights a week, all of them. And I found out why people picked them and why the traffic agents would miss it. After the first of the year, 311 started handling it differently, and I found the best times to actually report it to get action, because if you call at certain times of the day, you won't get action. Right now, there's a method in place for cars that park in front of a driveway. You call a precinct, you call 311, they call the precinct, they ticket it. As soon as it's ticketed, you can call a tow truck company and have them towed away. Now they're responding much better. The regular parkers on my block have stopped parking there after they got summoned a few times.
Mhm.
Now it's one night a week and it's usually 2 or 3 out of the 5 hydrants. They like the ones on my block because we have 2 T intersections and those hydrants are not spaced the same as on a normal block.
I
So
live
the
on that block.
traffic agents miss them. And I asked some of these drivers after they got ticketed why they didn't park in the no standing zone. And they said, well, there's a big sign there. And the traffic agents don't see the hydrant behind their cars. You know, so they had ways of dealing with it. What we need to do at this point now is get the precinct, which has been good about ticketing lately. I've been pretty successful with it for the first time in years, to allow it to be towed. Now, tow truck companies are more than happy to come and get these cars really fast. You see the parking lot, you can park in Dunkin' Donuts and leave, your car's gone in 15 to 20 minutes. And that's the way it should be with a fire hydrant. People get towed a couple of times, they're not gonna do it anymore at all. I also haven't contacted the fire department yet. Right now, we've got 30 feet of space reserved for the hydrant. I want to see if that's current and up to date, and maybe if there's some changes that be made to that. Because, you know, I really don't want to screw the regular people who park. A lot of times people park 10 feet from the hydrant and they won't get a ticket. You know, there's still access. So the 30 feet might not be relevant. But I guess it's the councilman. We have to get him to change the way the system works. Now, since it's a fire hydrant, it's not somebody's house. So the precinct has to do it. If a car goes by, gives them the ticket, call the precinct, they should call a tow company. As it is, the tow companies are required to call 311 when they tow a car to tell them where it is. So almost everything is in place to do it that way. We just got to get them to do it. Now, I've got a lot of statistics of how it's changed over the 3 years and what works and what doesn't work. So I didn't bring all that information tonight because I didn't know if you wanted to consider anything tonight. Or what I'd like to do is have this committee work with me for a proposal that we can present to the councilman or bring him down to the meeting to work on this, so we can make the little missing links into place so that this ends permanently. How many complaints did you get last year?
Majority of them have
Well,
hydrants.
yeah, I mean, illegal parking is the #1 complaint.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have the data in front of me, but hydrants is, you know,
I can tell you if you get
it's a big
call,
concern. We had a fatal fire. I do know that the precinct is focusing on hydrants in the area. So I'm happy to hear that, you know, you're seeing that on your
yeah,
block.
yeah. And if you want to know the best time to report a hydrant, 12:10 a.m., 8:10 a.m. and 4:10 p.m. It's the beginning of the 3 shifts. And I have a much better success rate if that's when I call 311. If I call in the middle of the day, a lot of times it's never gotten to.
You know why?
They're busy.
No, because when they're walking outside after roll call, the desk hands it to them and says, go
That's
there.
exactly why I do it. And I got 80% more tickets issued that way because I use that time frame. I also found that if you do it anonymously, it never gets registered.
Correct.
And sometimes the precinct doesn't get it and sometimes they ignore it. You know, okay, they could be busy and I can understand that, but
I think what gets people most upset is when they do put a 311 for a illegally parked vehicle and it's closed in 5 minutes later.
Well, that's what they did for years.
I know.
And there was a point at the beginning of last year where I had a pickup truck parked in front of that hydrant for 3 weeks. I made over 50 phone calls to 311, the precinct, Department of the traffic department, the tow truck people. I called everybody. I got 1 ticket issued in 3 weeks. And because they weren't ticketing as much for alternate side, they didn't get any alternate side tickets.
They don't ticket for that.
Right.
No, you know, we have tow trucks. We have city tow trucks too. You know, if they get a call from the precinct in the area, they can always come and pick up the car too.
Right. We don't have as many of the city tow trucks as the private ones like that are used for
Yeah.
driveways, but it's definitely something that we can look into. You know, following the fire, we did put a request even with the fire department to have them come to a future meeting, and certainly we could, you know, put some of that together if you want to send us that
The info?
that you've put together, and
Mhm.
I'll turn it over to Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Right. Josephine,
Yes,
years ago, they used to have what they called the Nighthawks.
they still have
When-
Nighthawks.
Well, I haven't seen them. And people are parked by, and they were primarily for the fire hydrants. And people would say, no, the Nighthawks are out. And I know they will only have like 3 or 4 cars for the 6A precinct, but you know, they would make their overtime in the tickets that they hit.
Right.
We
The
really need to do this.
Nighthawks, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's an NYPD unit that kind of like the summons riders during the daytime that do meter parking. They do traffic enforcement in the evening. They travel throughout the city, throughout the borough. And there's actually a phone number for them. And a lot of residents we know do call the Nighthawk number.
Really? I didn't know that.
it's- In the advent of 311, it's not used as much, but a lot of the evening times can be supplemented with that. But I'll find out more about it to see what their staffing is, and
Maybe we can get some to Bay Ridge, Dyker Heights.
it's in it. You know, they the Nighthawk unit receives their request
fine.
through the 311 system.
Hmm.
So I guess it's just depending on where they're assigned for the day or the evening.
I've certainly called a lot.
I'll have to look in.
Years ago, but that's years ago. Years ago, I was a platoon commander in the 8th precinct, and I used to send a guy out at 4 o'clock in the morning. He used to start at 4 o'clock in the morning, take his Cushman by himself and get everybody before leave.
I've noticed 311 has two different announcements. One of them says press 2 if you're calling about tickets and where your car is. At other times, it'll say to report illegal parking. And it's not based on time of day, because usually announcements change, day and night announcements are a little different. I think it's a failover to a backup office. But there is two different announcements that I use. But 2, if you do the tickets, it's still illegal parking.
Right. And there is online, you can report it online or through the app, you can report illegal parking as well.
Well, I usually don't report anybody unless they're there. They've been there for 4 or 5 hours and it's after
Right,
midnight.
I
then
understand.
Drop it by.
Okay. Ruth, you have a question?
I have a comment. First of all, I'd like to thank our community resident for the work he's doing to keep the fire hydrants clear. We know how important that is. But in all fairness to drivers in the community, I think that we have to recognize what's going on in terms of decreasing the legal parking spots that are and have been available. I was really, really surprised that the city reinstituted the roadway sheds that takes away parking, visibility, etc. I'm totally against that. And we have now they're talking about daylighting, which on some corners is important, but not all. But there seems to be a thrust to decrease parking for the public. And it really makes no sense because, like it or not, people have cars and they have to put them someplace. Oh, and now the city bikes are coming. So, I think it's a real problem.
Well, I agree with you, Ruth, but the answer is not parking at a hydrant where safety is involved.
100%, 100%. And there's no question that's a really important thing. I'm just broadening the discussion.
I understand.
Maybe
Well,
it's not relevant for us right now, but
Well, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to contact the fire department was to see if that 30-foot spacing still needs to be 30 foot. When that was first designed, the fire trucks are very different. And it might not be as necessary. Maybe they only need 20 feet. It would certainly give us some relief. On my block, I have 2 T intersections. There used to be no parking anytime and people with handicap plates would use them and get, they were able to. Until a traffic agent in my building requested that the sign be changed to no parking, no standing signs. And then he started using it. So I would love to see some of those T intersections, get released. I haven't done enough research on that yet, but I'm gonna ask the 2 on my block be removed. If a truck is double parked on my block, another truck can pass by without a problem. So the intersections, the T intersections are very wide. I've watched the big fire trucks go down them without any problem at all. So I don't know why we still need those no parking spots. That's one of the things I was gonna work on next.
Yeah, well, I'll share with you the no standing rules at T intersections. There were rule changes, so I'll send that over to you so you could take a look at that.
Oh, really? How
Mhm.
recent were they?
Within the last 2 or 3 years,
Okay.
maybe 2 years.
Haven't looked at it.
I'll send them over to you. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right.
Anything else?
Oh,
Ruth,
well,
you still
thank
have
you.
your hand up?
Well, that's it on our agenda. All right, thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Motion to adjourn?